flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my motovlogs.
What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. And I'm just out here today testing out my Bridgestone 195 55 16. Just trying to see how she handles at different pressures. It is a hot day today out here today, y'all. I'm telling you, man. I'm showing 95 degrees sitting in the cockpit. It's hot out here, y'all. So I'm just out here trying to get a little ride in, testing out different tire pressures on my Honda Gold Wing on this new Bridgestone drive guard tire that I put on the bike. When it comes to tire pressures, I've been hearing all kinds of questions about what is the proper tire pressure to run. And I think that's one of the things that we cannot agree on as Darksiders is the proper tire pressure to run in your car tire on your motorcycle. I've been hearing different ranges from 20 psi's to 25 psi's to 30, 35, 40, even the higher limits is 50. On the last tire that I had mounted on the Gold Wing, I always kept it in between like 47 and 50 psi's. I've always ran it that way ever since I've had the tire. I didn't have any issues, no problems. It handles good, it handles perfectly. Here recently, I took the tire off of the bike and put on a brand new car tire for the Gold Wing. And I got a lot of comments. A lot of people was commenting. I even got a few emails, a couple of phone calls. Guys was asking what is the proper pressure to run in that car tire. I even had a few commenters saying that I had my tire pressure set too high. Some said I need to drop it down to 45. Some said I need to drop it down to 40. I've even heard one biker said I need to drop it down to 32. So we as Darksiders, I think we all can agree that the car tire is better than the motorcycle tire. I think we all can agree that the car tire handles just as good as a motorcycle tire. We all agree that we get a wider footprint. We get deeper tread to channel water. We all agree that it stops faster. So basically, when it comes to the car tire, I think that most Darksiders can agree. But I think when it comes to tire pressure, I think that's where we kind of disagree. I think everybody has their own particular sweet spot where they like to ride on their car tires. And that's one of the things that kind of puzzles me, is that we cannot come to a consensus on what is the proper tire pressure to run. So everybody is seeking the $60,000 question. What tire pressure do I need to run on my car tire? Do I need to run it at the upper limits? Do I run it at the lower limits? Do I run it in the middle? I mean, where do I need to run it? And they make different types of tires. They make run flat tires. They make non-run flat tires. They make sportier tires. Tires with different compounds, different rubbers. So all tires are not made the same. So I think that's kind of where we hit that gray area, and we cannot arrive to one consensus is what is the proper tire pressure to run. I've had that conversation with several people that I know that has been darksiding for many years, and I have heard that you should run it to your comfort level. Whatever you like to feel in your car, you want to put that on the bike. So if you like to sportier ride, you need to get a sportier tire. If you like a touring ride, you need to get a touring tire. I've heard all different types of opinions about which tire to use, what pressure to run, how long should you run it. But I think we cannot agree on the proper tire pressure. What is the proper tire pressure? Now, when it comes to the Gold Wing, if you look in the trunk, there's a tag on the back that's hanging up in the trunk. And it tells you the recommended PSIs that Honda recommend that you run on your Honda Gold Wing. On the front tire, it says 36 PSIs. On the rear tire, it says 41 PSIs. That's what it says from Honda. But they are talking about motorcycle tires. They were specific to that Bridgestone G704, G709. Put 36 on the front, put 41 in the rear, max pressure. That's what Honda says. It's in the book, it's in the service manual, and it's in your trunk on that sticker. But they didn't factor in car tires. That's a different story. That's a different subject. So what is the proper tire pressure that Darksiders need to run on their motorcycle? I think we cannot agree what is the proper pressure. Again, I've heard that you should run the pressure to your comfort level. Some guys like a harder ride, you should run higher pressure. Some guys like a bouncier ride, you should run a lower pressure. But what is the proper tire pressure that we should run in our car tires? On the side of the Bridgestone drive guard, it says a max cold pressure of 51 psis. That is a max pressure. But what is the proper pressure that we need to run on a car tire? And so that is the topic of the day. This video was geared more toward the men that have actually been darksiding, not what they've heard, but what they have experienced. And also that brings up the question of tire wear. So if you run the upper limit on a Gold Wing, does that wear out the center part of your tire? Even though Gold Wings generally wear out the center part of the tire first, regardless of whether it's on a motorcycle tire or on a car tire. The Gold Wing is hard on the rear tire. It wears out that center. So is that because your tire pressure is set to an upper limit? Or is that because a Gold Wing is just hard on tires in general? So that is the $60,000 question. So I'm just out here today, cruising, just out here testing out some different pressures. I'm gonna be doing another test a little bit later on to determine what is the proper tire pressure to run in the Gold Wing. But again, all Darksiders have their own tire pressure that they like to run. Does that higher pressure wear out the center of your tire? Or does the Gold Wing just wears out the center of the tire because it's hard on any type of tire? Do you run that upper limit? Do you run the lower limit? So this vlog is kind of geared toward the men or the women that have actually been darksiding, that have experienced it, not what they've heard, not what they read on a forum, but what they actually experienced. And how many miles have you actually put on your car tire? So for you darksiders out there that's actually been darksiding, how many miles have you actually put on a car tire? Not what you've heard, not what you've read, but what you have experienced. What pressures are you running? Because it's a wide range of pressures. I think that when it comes to the tire pressure, we cannot reach a consensus on what tire pressure we need to run. And that is the topic of this video today. This is kind of going to be a part one video. My part two is going to be determining what pressure we need to actually run on the Honda Gold Wing. Again, this is part one. I just want to get some of your opinions, some of your thoughts, some of your inputs on this part one. Not what you've heard, not what you've read, but what you've actually experienced, because you got a lot of people out there that will give you advice about what they heard. You know, I heard that it's dangerous putting a car tire on a motorcycle, but they never experienced it. I heard that the insurance company won't cover you if you have on a car tire, but they never experienced it. I even heard that you can get a ticket for running a car tire. Not what they actually experienced, but what they heard. And I kind of think that's a problem with the Darksiders, or so-called Darksiders, or people that's experts, is that they go on by what they heard and not what they experienced. So how many miles have you actually put on your car tire? How many years have you been actually darksiding? That is the question that I have for you guys. And what pressure do you run? And the next question is tire wear. How does your tire wear? Does it wear evenly based off of your experience? Does it wear in the center and not the outer? Does it wear out the outer and not the inner? Based off your experience, what have you actually experienced on a car tire? What type of tire wear have you actually experienced? Not what you've heard, but what you experienced. So this vlog is geared toward the Darksiders that's been out there doing it. It's geared toward what you've experienced, not what you've heard, but what you've actually experienced. And what is your favorite tire? What type of tire do you like to run? Do you run the run flat? I've heard some guys say they like Kumo. I've heard some guys say they like Cooper. I've heard all different types of tires that guys like to run. So that's the question that I have for you. What type of tire do you like to run on your dark side? Is it a run flat? How many miles have you put on that tire? What pressures do you generally run? And how does your tire wear at the end of its life? Does it wear even? Does it wear uneven? Does it wear in the center? Does it wear in the outer? And last but not least, what is the pressure that you're running? So that is the question that I have for you guys. I'm just out here on the Gold Wing, out here just testing out some different tire pressures on my new Bridgestone Drive Guard 195/55/16. I've been getting a lot of questions, emails, and comments about my tire wear and about what tire pressures do they need to run. So that is the $60,000 question, as they say. So anyway, I want everybody to chime in on this video that has experience. Because opinions are like hands and feet. Everybody has them. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody have a thought. Everybody have a comment. But what's your experience? That is the question that I have for you guys. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I'm just out here doing some testing on this tire at some different pressures. My part 2 would be doing a test to determine what is the actual proper what is the actual proper pressure that we need to be running in the tire. Each tire may vary, but we're gonna be doing some tests on my part 2, and we're gonna find out exactly what pressure that we need to run on the Honda Gold Wing. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel. This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. Just out here testing out some different tire pressures on my Bridgestone 195/55/16. And I will talk to you guys later. See you.